It's Mike England here again with Marketing Agent Pro. Here to just kind of help you as the realtor, lender, whatever it is, anybody that is associated with real estate at a professional level, to talk about online lead generation and the whole process that goes behind it, and how it's a lot different than some of the other lead generation models. And so we've already covered the intro, the foundation, covering what courses that are going to be in this program. Then we covered goal setting, which is really important for determining what you need to do to achieve your financial goals, your life goals, your business goals. But goals are only as good as actions. So hopefully the things that you are learning and the things that you will continue to learn, that you will apply these actions, because information is no good, goals are no good if you don't follow through and apply it. I guarantee after these 12 videos, 12, 13 videos, that you apply these steps, you will have success in that can be in real estate. I also teach teach and coach internet marketers, so I know for a fact that the internet marketers that apply the skills that I teach them, which are very similar to this, a lot of them are making as much money as they're willing to put forth the work. So I know it's possible, and I've seen it happen at a very large level. So anyways, we're going to cover buyer's mindset. And when it comes to buyer's mindset, we're specifically talking about the tech savvy online buyer, or even the not as tech savvy, but the majority of people that look for homes anymore, or that are thinking about buying a home, they start with online. They don't start they don't start in the newspaper. The majority don't. They don't start by just driving around looking for open houses or yard signs. They start online. That's the way it works. And so, to be a successful agent, you have to understand the mindset of the individuals you're working with, and how they basically, by understanding their mindset, you're going to know also how to attract more leads of the buyers, and what to do when somebody contacts you, because a lot of times, when if we don't understand the mindset when we start getting contacted and generating leads, if we don't want to burn through the leads that we do get, and know how to do things like answer the right questions, not answer too many questions, which we'll talk more about that, but also know how to overcome obstacles, overcome objections. So I'm going to pick on a buddy of mine who's an investor, real estate investor. He's not an agent, but he has asked me to help him out with his marketing on some of his listings, and he does work with an agent, and I just work with the agents that he sends my way. And what I do for him is I create these single property websites. Now, I'm sure you've seen single property websites before, but this single property website, as you can see, we have something that catches the attention of the buyer right off the go here. So, beautiful Puyallup Rambler. So right there, who are we going after? People that want a Rambler. So that that eliminates anybody that is looking for split levels. So we get that right out in the open, and this is just basically from the copy or the remarks by the agent. Then I have the address right here with the best picture, I think, that stands out most for this home. I started with the front of the house, and honestly, the front of the house isn't remarkable. So they remodeled the inside of the house, so I wanted to show the hardwood floor and just kind of how it's spaced out, and an upgraded kitchen for this home. So then you can see here we have just the general information. A lot of times people don't read all the remarks of a home. A lot of times they want to know just a few things. They want to know beds, baths, square footage, the price, who can they contact for more information, and the pictures. And in these pictures we have just, you know, scrolling pictures. And the nice part is this phone number is a click to call. So if somebody clicks this on their mobile device or their phone, and this is the reason I create these single property websites, there's hundreds of IDX feeds that have this listing on it, that have all this information. But the reason I do this is because it is mobilely optimized and it allows for a little more flexibility for marketing your listing. So that's why I do this for him and a couple agents. So but anyway, so it has all the information of this home here. You'll notice also, which this is nothing new because I know Zillow and some of the other ones have it, is a contact an agent. But the nice thing is the agent that they will contact is the agent of the person that's actually listing this home. So that's really important because that is actually who the majority of the buyers, you know who they want to work with? They want to work with the person that knows the most information of the home that's being sold. Now, sometimes some people don't care as long as the person that they're contacting is informed about the listing as well. But a lot of times when people are paying for leads on Zillow or Trulia, they know nothing about that listing. And so as the consumer, as the buyer, the tech-savvy online buyer, you come across this listing, you find out some information, you contact the person, and it goes to a random agent that has never seen this listing before. They're having to pull up that information and become educated about that listing on the fly, and they usually sound like a blubbering idiot, or they end up putting off the buyer for a period of time to try to buy some time to close the deal. But the reality of it is the buyers that contact you, they want information now. They want to know that you are the expert on this listing. So that is really important to understand the mindset of the online consumer looking for a home. They want their information now. They want it accurate. They don't want it from some third-party source that knows nothing about the product. It's like selling anything. If you weren't the expert on anything that was being sold, then you're not going to be convinced that this is what you need to buy. So I think a lot of times the Zillows and the Trulias, you know, it is a good way to generate leads, but I think we do the consumers a disservice by not being informed about the listings they're talking about. And there's no way that being on Zillow and Trulia and some of those other services that you can be informed about every single property, every single listing in your area. There's just too many. You're not going to know all the details. So we're going to talk a little bit more about that and how you can be the expert on listings that are not even your listings and attract buyers through inventory that is not necessarily your inventory. So, because I get that a lot. Well, what if I don't have any listings? How do I market? How do I attract buyers if I don't have listings? Well, we're going to show you how to do that. A little bit, we're going to talk mostly about mindset, but that is something we're going to show you how to do in the later videos as well. So we just have the information here. So there's a few things I want to cover here when you're the mindset of the buyer. When you're the mindset of the buyer, you don't want to mess around with not being able to contact somebody when you find a home that you like. So in this case, we're assuming that somebody likes their home. Boom. Right on top here, I can contact somebody. All right. Maybe I don't like to actually talk to anybody on the phone. So right on the top here, we have contact an agent, fill out a form. I make it a requirement to get their phone number because even if they don't want to talk to me on the phone, I don't want them going and looking at other homes. I want to contact them as soon as I possibly can, and I want them to be my client. Because everybody that comes through your website and fills out this form, they become a lead, and if you can contact them within the first 5 minutes, that's a hot lead. But if you let them slip past that 5-minute mark, then they're going to jump off your website and they're going to start looking at other properties and they're going to contact other agents. And that's a big deal. That could be the difference of, you know, a commission check. You know, you're 2 to 3% commission check, which depending on the market, this one being in Puyallup, this is probably, you know, $4,000 commission check. So, you know, 5 minutes of being attentive, you know, and having a way to be notified instantly and following up on that quickly. I don't know about you, but I don't like 3-4 grand slipping through my fingers. So I'm going to jump on that. So this right here, this form, you want to make sure that whether you're using an IDX feed, whether you have your own website, whatever the case may be, that you have a system that notifies you on whatever you check on a consistent basis. For me, I respond to text messages. That is what I respond the fastest to. Text messages, even more so than phone calls, but phone calls second. Email is a third thing. I only check it a few times a day. So if you're only getting your leads through email and you're seeing leads slip through your fingers, you need to find a system that's going to notify you through text message or through notifying you through a phone call. And we're going to talk more about those different systems as well later on, but I just wanted to put that out there because as we're talking about the mindset of the buyer, they need to be contacted immediately if they're going to be your sale. If you don't, they become somebody else's sale. Plain and simple, cut and dry. So in this case, this does notify me on my cell phone as well as email, and I do have a system too that if they put their phone number in, the form, not the individual, but the form will call me and has me press 1. And if I press 1, it's an immediate callback to whoever puts his phone number in. So I call that my speed to lead, and we'll cover that I think in the last video. So you'll have to bear with me. But I want to make sure all these other steps are in place before I show you how to do those kind of things. The last here is a third call to action. So you're going to see 3 calls to actions. You don't see this on a regular IDX feed. And for the consumer, they like to have multiple options to contact you because you got to remember, in a mobile, this is all stacked on top of each other. This whole thing, I'm going to show you here what it looks like on mobile. So I'm going to shrink this here, bring it over here. All right, so this is what it's going to look like on mobile. It's just stacked, right? So contact form 1, or I'm sorry. Phone number, contact 1, contact 2, contact 3, and I even have a phone number in the footer. So really there's 4 ways to be able to contact this agent. I like there to be at least 3 to 4. I don't think it's overkill. I think it's the proper amount, and I think it's ultimately what the consumer wants too. They want to read a little bit of information. You know, if they're intrigued by the pictures and they don't like to read a lot, then they're going to contact you up here. If they like a little more information, read a little bit, then they're going to contact you here. If they like to read everything, then you have a simple click to call. So that's the mindset of the buyer when it comes to when they land on a landing page. We're going to call this the landing page. Every listing has a landing page. This listing right here has hundreds of landing pages. Every IDX feed is a landing page, but this one in particular stands out. And I can put this listing on all my marketing materials and make sure they go to this landing page as opposed to everybody else's landing page where they can capture a bunch of buyer leads. So I want to get the buyer leads. I don't want them to get the buyer leads. So, but now we're going to talk about the mindset of a buyer according to this home in general. And it's important to understand this because the internet and how to generate leads online has everything to do with content. In real estate, our biggest and best piece of content is listings. It's easy, it's simple, it's our inventory. It is what we have to utilize to be able to attract sales. Other industries, you have to come up with products, you have to write content, product reviews, you have to do a lot more work, in my opinion, because I work with a lot of other businesses and other industries. You have to do a lot more work to come up with creative content. In real estate, you don't really have to do that much. At the end of the day, this information, you have to come up with a couple paragraphs. I mean, come on. So, and you just have all these features and all these things that, make up this content. So it's not really, you're not having to write a 1,000-word article on 10 different web pages and blog consistently or anything like that. You can use this piece right here as your content piece. So we're going to talk about this content piece. If this is this a listing we would want it, and I'm, this is a buddy of mine's listing, so, if he sees this video ever, he'll be kind of bummed because I think this home may be slightly overpriced, and it's not something the average consumer that lives in Puyallup is going to want to buy in this price range. You're looking for a very specific person that is looking for a large lot. They're looking for a lot of property. This is not going to attract the family with 2 or 3 kids, which is the majority of individuals that live in Puyallup. It's a very family-based area, lots of neighborhoods, and there's lots of homes within this price range, and I'm going to show you that. And we're going to think of it as the mindset of the consumer. So right here, he's dumping some advertising in it because he's an investor and he's trying to unload this thing. But if I had, let's say, 3 listings at my disposal, and they were all within this price range, $250,000 to $300,000, they all were 3+ bedrooms, around 1,500 to 2,500 square feet, because that's what you're going to find in this area. If I had those, would this be the listing I would use to attract more buyers? Because ultimately, he wants to sell this home, but as a realtor, we want to not only sell this home, we want to get more people that are sellers and buyers. We want to find we want to generate leads, and there's no better way, no better way. I've done enough real estate marketing over the last almost 4 years now to know there is no better way to attract buyers than listings. Flat out, no better way. So we are going to open up this right here, and these are properties within the same area for the same price range. So I did 250 to 280, three beds, 2 baths. This is how people find homes now. They don't start off by, the majority of people don't call your real estate office going, hey, I'm looking to buy a home, 3 bedroom, 2 bath in Puyallup. Do you have an agent that can help me out? You just don't get that very much anymore. Maybe for selling a home, you might get that a little bit more, but not so much for buying a home. So, because people have incredible online resources, and it's fast, it's simple, and that's just the way it works. So, we have 27 properties within this price range of the home that we just looked at. And so we're going through this as the consumer. So they found 27 properties, same zip code. So they're gonna have these options here. And I'm sure you've navigated all these things. You have access to the MLS, so you know how this works. But I'm going to show you it through the eyes of the buyer here. So they're going to go, okay, we're going to start off with low to high. We're going to look for a deal. So what they're going to do is they're going to look for deals of homes with maybe price reductions. This one has a down arrow, so they're going, okay, 3 bed, 2.5 baths, 1,600 square feet, 8,500 square foot lot. All right, so right there, you get more home for less of the price than the one that is our listing, essentially, right? So then they start going through all these listings, and they're just basically comparing. They're just clicking through, looking at pictures, deciding on which one they like. All right? So then we get to the page. Did we miss our listing here? Hopefully it's in the MLS. If it's not, then their transaction coordinator kind of failed. And there it is. I just passed it. So right here, this is the range. So we're going to look at the one above. So we have a four bed, 2.5 bath, 3,000 square foot lot, 25 square foot home. It doesn't have as much acreage. So again, if you're looking at these 3 listings right here, so 4.5 baths. So this one are pretty similar. This one's pretty similar to this one. But we're going to say if we had to choose between these 4, 1, 2, 3, 4. Which one would probably get us the most leads online? Which one of these listings would the average consumer in Puyallup, a family-oriented town, a suburb of Tacoma, which one of these homes is going to bring in the most business? Not sell the home, but bring in the most business. So thinking of the mindset of the consumer, the average consumer, they're probably going to choose this home right here. The price has been reduced. It's maybe not on as big of a lot as this one. It's $4,000 cheaper, but they're going to either do this one or this one, just flat out right here. Split level, 4 beds that you're going to be able to fit all the kids, give them their own bedroom, more square footage. This one has a little bit more square footage. The average person's probably choosing this one right here. So what happens is if they go on something like this is Realtor.com, but Realtor, Zillow, anything like that, they're going to click on this listing. And here you go, they have their contact details, and we talked a little bit about that every one of the sites has it. But you're going to have right here the listing broker, the listing agent. Realtor is not as bad as like Zillow, but like in Zillow, you're going to have everybody else's information here. But my point being is you want to make sure that they, even if they don't buy your home, they may buy a home that's very similar, because you can see here there's similar homes. Now in this home it's for an investor, so I don't have any kind of IDX feed, but what I would insert here is somewhere on this web page a call to action to find similar homes in that same price range. So right here you can see right here I have finding a similar home. If they click that and they fill out this information, I need to respond to that person very quickly and feed them into either my IDX feed or have a list of homes that are very similar to the one that they have already looked at. The faster we can do that, the better the information, the more trust that we're going to establish with that buyer. That's the mindset. That's how buyers work. That's how they want their information. They want their information now, and they want it to be complete. And so that is definitely my tips for how, the attracting the buyer online. It's all about speed. It's all about the now. And the realtors that the real estate professionals that have mastered this, they win. I mean, they win the most listings. They don't let leads slip through the cracks. If you don't have a listing that is your own, this is my suggestion. Find some listings within your office. Maybe some agents that aren't real great at marketing their listings, meaning all they do to market their listings is put it in the MLS and have it fed through all the IDX sites. If that's the only thing that somebody in your office does, they don't do any open houses, they don't do any mailers, they don't run any ads on Facebook, they don't run ads in the newspaper. I'm just listing all these different ways to get your listing more exposure. If they don't do any of that, those are the listings that you want to help somebody else out in your office. Because what happens is if you create a single property website, you become an expert on their listing. And when they click contact an agent, you have them contact you. And then what you're going to do is you're going to help the other person. Yeah, they're going to sell the home, but then you're going to get the percentage on the other side. Not only that, not only are you going to get the percentage on the other side, but that agent, and the majority of agents, don't know how to generate leads online or don't even care to learn how to. So what's going to happen is you're going to get all these leads that are going to come to you, and you're using their listings kind of like what Zillow does. They use everybody else's listings, but you're using their listings with their permission, and you're just helping them with their marketing. And it doesn't take much, and we'll show you how to do that. But you're using their listings to generate more buyer leads. And as you start building your pipeline, you're going to start helping other people buy homes. And as you start to help people buy homes, they're going to refer you business to their family and friends. And then you're going to start also getting opportunities to sell homes. And real estate is all about momentum. And once you start your pipeline and you are lead generating and you're constantly having new leads fed through your pipeline and you do a really good job in the consumers like working with you, they're going to talk to you about to other people. And once you get that momentum, that real estate momentum going, you're going to crush it and you're going to far exceed your expectations. But it's all about routine. It's all about being attentive and responding fast to these online leads. You do this, you master this, you are going to be you're going to improve your real estate business, and it's going to grow tremendously. So that is the mindset of the consumer, mindset of the buyer that is looking online. I wanted you to just kind of walk you through on that. The last thing that I didn't mention, and I almost forgot this, is when we were looking at this listing, we also saw a pop-up. Consumers hate pop-ups. If the pop-up requires you to fill out information in order to see more of the listing, you know what that person does? They don't fill out the information, they jump off the website. So if you have a website with a pop-up that we had earlier in this video, ditch it. Find something else, because it's not working for you. You're just going to lose leads. So anyways, I hope that works out for you. If you have any questions about this video or anything related to what we've talked about, feel free to message me, tag my name in the private Facebook group, and I'd love to help you out. Have a great day.